Okay, so today we're going to look at converting a double to an integer. We've kind of looked at how we've to take an integer and we can cast that as a double. We're going to kind of reverse that process for us a little bit, okay? And when this happens, it won't actually round the number, and I'll show you how we can actually make it round it, but it won't actually round it. What ends up happening is it does a thing called truncating, where it just drops off the decimal at the end. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this. We'll call it double. We're going to make a double variable called num, and we're going to give that the value of 3.8. Okay, and then what we want to do is we're just going to go ahead and print this off a minute. Just to make sure we got everything kind of put together here. Okay, so if we run this, this should just print off 3.8, and it does. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make an integer. And we'll call this num2, even though I didn't call the other one num1, that's okay. And we're going to say that this is going to be the integer we're going to cast this num. Okay, so we're going to say that this is going to be an integer, and we're going to cast num, which is a double, and we're going to cast it as an integer. Now what's going to end up happening here is this will not round. And so when we run this, it's just going to become 3. Maybe. It's running a little slow. Oh, might help if I printed the right thing there. There we go. So it's printing this one. Let's go ahead and print num2 and do this correctly again. Maybe it was thinking, like, what are you doing? All right, so there's the 3. Okay, so what ends up happening is it just cuts off this because it's looking for just the integer, this number right here. Now, if what we wanted to do is actually round this number, we can do that. All we would really want to do then is add 0.5 to this, okay? And basically what that means is we're just going to add 0.5 to it, so that if you have 3.8, it's going to round it up to 4.3, or move it up to 4.3 because it's going to add this to it. Then it's going to convert it, and then we would call that's a let's put our math in brackets here a second. We're kind of faking the rounding a little bit. I mean, because we're just adding 0.5 to it. If it were, like 3.4, it would go to 3.9, and then it would just drop that, and it would still say 3. So if we were to round this or make it look like we're rounding, we'd have to add 0.5 to it. So if we do this now, it's going to be 4, when really all we did is add 0.5 and kind of bump it up, and then it truncates it and drops the number. Okay. All right, hopefully this helps. Sometimes that can be a little confusing for the whole truncating thing, but that's kind of how that works, is when you're converting a double or casting a double to an integer, it just basically drops that. Okay? All right, hopefully that helps you, and good luck.